From the Dignity Health Studios of the Bakersfield Californian, it's time to open up with real people and real talk about real stuff. And now, a special welcome to our friends throughout California, across the nation, and around the world to this week's edition of Open Up.
You bet, and welcome everybody. I'm Don Clark. Bob Prater sitting in for Tina Miller, who's back in the Carolinas taking care of family business. Bob, always great to have you.
Oh, Don, it is always my great pleasure to be sitting next to you.
Hey, just ahead in our show, you're going to really want to listen to this. We've got a Superior Court judge coming on that's, you don't think of judges as rebels. But this judge is leading a rebellion in the ranks of judges all over California. So all you viewers in the rest of the world and the country, listen in on this, because this is really an interesting rebellion within the ranks of judges themselves. So you're going to hear about that. But one of the things that we really are committed to here on this program, Open Up, is to be a real resource to all of you who have small businesses. And one of the things we do for our local businesses is that we, rather than just give a 30-second or 60-second commercial, we bring the people behind the scenes onto this set, and you can really meet them. You can really sense their heart, what they're all about, and what they're doing. And this segment is sponsored by DB Printing, DB and Company Printing and Marketing. That's David Bass, their headquarters, right next to Happy Jacks, right down the street.
Yep.
And today, there it is, Dave Bass, DB Printing and Marketing, 2001 G Street, right next to Happy Jacks. And its website is dbandcompany.com, 324-2222. And he makes it possible for other businesses to come on for free and tell their stories. So thanks, David Bass. Great guy, great golfer, too. And with us today is Sean Dawkins. And Sean is heading up Sonatrol. Been in town for about 2 years. Sean, tell us how you like Bakersfield, where you came from, and how do you like the city so far?
Bakersfield's great. I moved here about 5 years ago, chasing an opportunity down here, and my wife and I have bought a home here, and we're loving it. It's great.
Where did you come from before?
Well, I came in from Arizona. I've been in Arizona for about 20 years. My wife is a native Californian, lived up in San Jose, and so first lived there all of her life. And I said, well, let's see, where can I take you that's going to be different for you? And Bakersfield was the place.
So you're used to the Arizona heat. This wasn't all that much of a change.
No, not much at all. Actually, it's about 10, 15 degrees cooler here than in the middle of the summer than I was experiencing out there. So, yeah.
Sean, how serious is it to protect our homes? What dangers are lurking out there these days?
Well, it's very serious business for security today. Obviously, crime doesn't go away. It's there. And we actually, about 95% of the business that we do, 97% of the business that we do is commercial. We do some residential, but Sonatrol's core business is commercial business.
And are you seeing a lot of attempted break-ins to our businesses?
Oh, absolutely. And the services that we provide help protect. We're the only audio-based verified intrusion system in the country.
What does that mean?
Yeah, explain that.
The other big names that we all know about they are conventional alarm systems. They are motion-based. So in other words, in a space like this, you'd have a motion detector. Those are basically dumb systems. The motion detector trips because it sees something moving, or it sees a body mass, or a heat signature, or a combination of all of those. But it doesn't know what it was that tripped what tripped it. Whereas with us, we actually install microphones as part of our security system, and with that, it's 100% floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall coverage. And we listen in from the time that an alarm event happens. And because we're able to verify, you've probably heard a lot about verification in recent years. Police departments are strained to their limits responding to false alarms. Average false alarm rate's about 97, 98% of the alarms that police actually respond to are false alarms created by mostly traditional conventional systems. With us, because we are able to verify someone has broken into or is attempting to break into your business, the police come running, and we get great response.
Did the police respond faster because they know it's Sonatrol?
They do. Yes. They're big fans of ours. I mean, obviously, their security companies and the other systems that are out there have their place. It's like any business, you got McDonald's and Burger King and you got Taco Bell. It just depends on what your flavor of the month is. Yeah, because of the fact that we have verification, last year we helped the police apprehend 1,026 from our alarms, our dispatch.
That's here in this area.
That's our system-wide. We cover territory from the Bay Area down to Northwest LA and then the eastern part of the state out to the coast.
Did I hear you right? I'm sorry. Did I hear you right? You apprehended more than 1,000 people out of
We
yours?
did. And about a quarter to a third of those apprehensions are always right here in Bakersfield, in Metro.
Wow.
My goodness. So the audio that you provide, is that in addition to video?
We can provide video and we can provide verified video. We have systems available now that we've added to our quiver. But our core business, we were founded based on this audio. Actually, it's an interesting story. The audio was developed back in the 60s by a gentleman who was looking to detect termites. And that's how these microphones are developed, and that's how sensitive they are. Then a police officer a few years later who was sick and tired, he was an ex-police officer, sick and tired of responding to false alarms and never apprehending anybody, came up with an idea. He got together with this other gentleman and they said, hey, wait a minute, maybe we've got something here. So within just a matter of a couple of weeks of installing the very first audio-based system, they actually apprehended their first criminal.
Sean, do you still detect termites?
Well, I don't need to because my house is relatively new, but judging from somebody that I spoke with at a pest control company, every home that's over 10 years old needs to have a termite inspection. I guess they're pretty rampant out there.
Wow. And when you install in the residential section, you can actually pick up insect activity.
The same high-quality products and services that we provide to our commercial customers are the same ones that we provide to our residential
Do you link
customers.
up with a pest control company? It would seem like that'd be a natural partnership.
No, we don't go in there and start listening for the termites for them.
Okay.
The audio portion, this is literally what sets you apart.
Correct. It's the feature. There is no other company in the country, no other alarm system in the country that provides the audio verification.
Among businesses, you say that your territory runs from the Bay Area down to around here.
Mm-hmm.
What penetration do you have into the marketplace, the business marketplace?
I don't know if you're looking. I mean, percentages.
Just a rough.
We have great coverage here. Our footprint is very extensive here in Kern with schools, ag companies, oil companies, and so on, all the way down to the mom and pop convenience stores at gas stations. So the penetration is there for the people that are looking for that kind of a quality system and understanding that we can mitigate their losses. I can't necessarily stop somebody from breaking in or attempting to break in, and I can't necessarily, prevent some of those damages, although 15% of the time we catch people before they actually get inside the building. But once they do get in, or if they get in, those costs, you're not losing, the asset loss is minimal, if anything, because the police response for a Sonatrol alarm, we're over the last 14 years, it averages about 7 minutes.
Wow.
Whereas with conventional alarms, because of the fact they're responding to what they will normally assume is a false alarm, there really is no hurry. There's no sense of urgency in the idea of responding, because most likely they're going to get there and there's going to be some other reason. Mylar balloon was blowing around in front of a motion detector, or the palm fronds of the plant in the office when the air kicks on. Those are real things that happen that will trip a conventional alarm system versus ours. And just to just to let your listeners understand, we don't listen in 24/7 in that sense. Those microphones are not on, so when you and your wife are having a little, as we would say in England, a little argy-bargy going on or something like that, we're not listening to that.
Argy-bargy?
A little argument or, a little bit of, no, not where you were going with that. Get your mind out of that. No, this is something that, like any security system, you arm it, and once it's armed, if there is an impact sound from that point on, the microphones kick on. Our dispatchers are listening in for subsequent sounds, breaking glass, fracturing wood. We hear those things. That's when we're dispatching.
So a couple of guys break into a mom and pop store, and you hear the breaking glass, and you hear these guys talking, among themselves. And I'm assuming you save these recordings. Do they become then a potential evidence if this case goes to court and these guys want to be convicted?
Yes, actually they do. And because of the fact that our recordings and also our video are watermarked, if in fact they, most of these criminals, once they're confronted with either audio or video evidence as good as we have, are going to go, okay, yeah, they've got me. But if it really comes down to it, very, very, very rarely in our company's history has something like that actually been called for to present in court. So,
are you a nationwide company?
Sonatrol itself is not only nationwide, also in Canada. And my company is actually the largest franchise operation in North America.
Really?
In the Sonatrol system.
Wow.
So we cover the 22 counties.
With the uniqueness of what you do, the unique aspect, are you competitively priced?
Well, we are for our product. I mean, it's kind of like, people will ask me sometimes, well, who do you think is, who do you feel is your biggest competitor? Well, I mean, quite frankly, and I'm not being facetious by this, but I mean, we don't really have a competitor because there's no apples for apples system out there that I can say, that's what they're offering. So,
okay. Sean, a great guest and a lot of excellent information that you've shared out there. We've got some information to show. There it is, Sonatrol Security. And if you want to get in touch with Sean Dawkins, there's his number, 324-6444. Just very simple, sonatrolsecurity.com. That's the way to get in touch with them. And, boy, some very clear advantages that you've set forth here.
Yeah, and you can
Sean.
hear some of our audio recordings and see some of our video recordings on that website. And I also want to thank both of you and DB and Company Printing for Dave Stevens over there,
Dave
good
Bass.
friend. And well, no, I deal with Dave Stevens.
Okay, got it.
But great people, and I appreciate the invitation.
You bet. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Hope to see you again.
Just ahead, you're going to hear from a Superior Court judge about a very interesting, I'm just going to call it a kind of rebellion within the ranks of California judges. And you're going to hear what that's all about. I think people across the nation will want to hear this too. We'll be right back.